All right. So we are live. We're doing part two of our reaction to Vegan Gains. Debating with Leo Venus about animal rights. All right, very nice. Let's listen to our own audio. Let me find it. There it is. I want to listen to it. Let's go listen to it. How do you listen to it? Here we go. Let audio testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does it sound good? Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. I don't see an issue. All right. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. All right. So let's continue listening. So Leo was saying that in a hypothetical, he doesn't like hypotheticals, and I commented that that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, at this point, Leo should have declared, "I gotta take a break and think about it." And for now, I if you want to define that as losing a debate, that's fine. The purpose of a debate is, I would say, it's not to win or lose unless you define it as such. I define the purpose of a debate to just learn. I just feel that when I debate, I learn the most because I'm forcing my opponent to think about my position and objections to my position, and I'm forced to think about my opponent's position and how to disprove him. So it's 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 an active it's called active learning. So instead of just reading and getting input which might put me to sleep, and I don't think it's as effective. This is learning with a little bit of pressure. Hopefully it's just a little bit, it doesn't get too intimidating, because then you lock up. You don't want to go into a lockup where you can't think. That's not the purpose. If you're forcing your opponent to not think, then you're not changing their mind. I think that's one of the ways that you get the not changing my opponent's mind effect that you often get in debating. It's because it's like a war, and the purpose is to win the debate. So if the purpose is to win the debate, yeah, you cannot change the other guy's mind, and he's going to convince himself that his mind has not been changed. Yeah, but if you're open to, yeah, I'm here, I'm open-minded, this is just a learning experience. I lose, I win. If I learn, I win. By learning, that's how I win. If I change my mind completely, that's a win. If I don't change my mind, but I tried to be open-minded and listen to the other guy, I win. But 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 if you end up having to think about it, that's great. That's an accomplishment for both sides. Okay, so let's continue listening. Let's go on.
To kind of discredit a real life scenario. For me, let me ask you, for example, the idea of speciesism, because this is
Is
one of
there a
the
logical
most
contradiction with what I
central
said?
areas of the.
So at this point, Vegan Gains is being a little bit abrasive. The guy, so Leo wants to maybe change the topic to speciesism, and Vegan Gains smells blood in the water, so he's going for the kill and he's putting pressure. That's not how you're going to convince the other guy. You got to say, hold on. I don't want to change the topic right now. Let's get back to what I asked. Let's think about it together. You got to drop the pressure. If you're pressuring the other guy, then he can't think. It's very difficult to think under pressure. So I wouldn't pressure them if you really want to change their mind. Now, if you really just want to win, then yes, then what Vegan Gains is doing is fine. Now, I gave it some thought as I was driving today. So my feeling, my sincere feeling is that Vegan Gains is doing some acting. A lot of what Vegan Gains is an act. Vegan Gains is a paid activist, right? His audience pays him for his activism. This is the relationship between Vegan Gains and his audience. So Vegan Gains in his own mind is being rewarded for being an activist and for winning debates. And so Vegan Gains has to win, and when he wins he gets more reward from his audience. That's my personal opinion. I don't have the stats to show it. It would be interesting to show this, but I mean I wouldn't be surprised, right? It wouldn't make sense otherwise. I mean, he's like Vegan Gains is like the ambassador of the vegans, a certain type of vegans, very belligerent, of I would say one of the most belligerent types of vegans. So he needs. It's not. He might not even be aware of this. This might be subconscious or subconscious. I think subconscious at this time, at this point. Maybe he's a little bit aware of it, that it's an act. It's part of his show. He's a performing artist. That's what he's paid to do. He is a performer. Uh, Whether he's aware of it or not, it might be that he's not aware of it because that's the way the brain works. I mean, our brain gets rewarded and rewires itself based on the reward. So he might not be aware of it. Certainly, he might object to this description, to this prognosis. Yeah, I could understand why he would. Anyway, but this at this time that he's being belligerent and abrasive towards Leo, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would you do that? I mean, you are trying to change Leo's mind. Leo did bring up a good point before, and Vegan Gains didn't receive. Vegan Gains should have said, yeah, that makes sense. What you said about um, that ethics, no, it's just a word. It's just defined by basically humanity, and humanity claims that it is ethical to eat animals, but it is unethical to murder humans. So that was a good point, to say the least. I think it's a winning argument in my opinion. But fine, whatever. But Vegan Gains did not receive it as such. Didn't even flinch. Didn't even mention it as yeah, okay. Let's try to dissolve that. Let's try uh to untie that. Let's try to unpackage that. No, he didn't. He's like poker face. All right. So now another piece of evidence I have that Vegan Gains is an act is the way he reacts to cute animals that he sees on video on YouTube. So sometimes people send him links to videos with cute animals, and Vegan Gains starts baby talking to the video, which is weird because I can understand baby talking to a live animal. I do that. Everyone I know does that, basically. I mean, it's 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 fun. That's the way we are wired. We enjoy baby talking to animals because we treat them like babies, even though they could be huge and dangerous. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's the way we're wired. That's fine. But I would never do that with a video. I've never seen anyone talking to the animal or a baby talking to an animal on video, like to the video. That doesn't make any sense because when you baby talk to a live animal, you get a reaction. You see that the animal enjoys it. You baby talk to a puppy, you can tell the puppy is enjoying it so much. I mean, the puppy completely understands the baby talk. I mean, not the words, but the emotions. And it's a conversation just as much, even more than it is with a human baby. A human baby doesn't react like a puppy. I mean, puppies are incredibly emotionally reactive to baby talk. So I can understand that, but I've never seen anyone baby talking to a video. Vegan Gains is the only one who does that, which is bizarre, which is weird, which raises a flag and says to me that this is an act. Either that or he has some miswiring in his brain. Now, I don't think he has miswiring because in general, I mean, I understand he suffers from depression. That's I understand that, but that that is a common wiring in humans. I mean, I see it a lot. I've experienced my share of that. So that but that doesn't matter. I mean, I would say 10% of the population, 5 to 10%. Uh, let me just close the door. 5 to 10% of the population has this issue. Let me just text a message so that no one interrupts me while I'm streaming. So give me 1 second. Please give me 1 second. Where is it? Mm, mm, there we go. Okay. So the so so it's weird. So my intuition is that Vegan Gains is performing. It's a lot of what he does is performance, which is fine. He's a paid performer. I mean, I mean, maybe some of what Vegan Gains is authentic vegan. He's an authentic vegan, but some of it is an act. That's my analysis. So right now, when he goes into belligerent mode, I think that's part of the act because he has debated so much. At this point, he should know that, right? Leo is not is has never has not debated, I think, as much as Vegan Gains. Vegan Gains is always debating. So Vegan Gains knows that he has the advantage, and Vegan Gains has a much bigger audience. Anyway, it's so Vegan Gains is basically intimidating his opponent at this point, which is not the purpose of a real debate. I mean, if you're acting, if you're a paid actor and your job is to win or act as if you won or as if you're winning, then fine. But if you are just a truth seeker, then you wouldn't be belligerent. You would it wouldn't make any sense. If you're completely comfortable in your skin, in your position, why would you be belligerent? So so right now he's being a little bit belligerent. All right, let's continue.
Veganism. Do you believe that you do not discriminate between species,
So
Richard?
is there a logical contradiction with what I said?
So Vin Gaines is not even listening. He's just saying, is there a logical contradiction? Referring to, I don't even remember what, but the hypothetical. Going back, oh, I guess to the purple people. The purple people, if they have children, don't have children, is that what? I don't even remember what the discussion is. I mean, at least he should completely phrase the entire question. Contradiction in reference to what? Repeat what you said, but he's not. He's anyway. Let's continue. Which is part of his belligerence, not repeating the complete question.
Is there a logical problem?
Sure. Yes.
What's the
in my
logical
opinion,
problem?
there is. The logical problem is that you're talking about an unrealistic situation.
No, that's not a logical problem. There is no logical problem with the question. The question is logical, it's fine, but in my opinion, that's not how people behave. We don't care we don't care so much about the ability to reproduce with us. We cannot reproduce with dogs and cats, and we treat them like family. So that has nothing to do with it. I cannot reproduce with men, but I treat family who are men very nice. I treat men in general that I meet down the street. I treat everyone very nicely, even though I cannot reproduce with men. So that's irrelevant. The whole point is irrelevant. The way we treat people simply depends on the way people treat us. It's not just people. The way we treat individuals of any type, including AI, including robots. The next thing we're going to have walking down the street is a robot. The way we're going to treat a robot is the way the robot treats us. As long as the robot is going to behave nicely, we'll behave nicely to it. The way we're going to treat aliens, if we ever meet them, is the way they're going to treat us. If they're going to be basically like us, they're going to be nice to be with, then we'll be nice to be with for them. That's it. That is the way I understand the universe. There is no ethics. There is just self well-being. We are all just looking to live a good life, a good, happy life. So, in order to live a good life, I'm nice to whoever is nice. That's it. And I'm not nice to whoever is not nice. And I will be belligerent to whoever is belligerent towards me and towards my group and towards my country and so on. Let's continue. Reproducing, having the ability to reproduce with my group, that's not that's a secondary question, and it's not even clear either way what's my preference. It really depends. Let's continue.
Okay, that's not,
like I said,
that's not a
exist.
contradiction. That's
And
not
number two,
illogical.
if they
I'm
weren't,
asking you to point
in
out
my
a
opinion,
logical
they wouldn't
problem.
be people.
I'm asking you to point out a logical problem. So
Okay.
what's the logical?
At this point, I would repeat the question completely and ask him, like, is there... Okay, so what is the question? The question is that if purple people could not or could, I don't remember, could or could not reproduce, would we eat them or something like that? So I don't think that's relevant. Most people would agree that we would eat or not eat other individuals depending on many parameters, such as, are they nice to us? Now, a cow, the problem with a cow is it's not as reliable as a human, right? A cow is not smart as a human, so you cannot really rely on a cow. That's one issue with the cow. Another issue with the cow is that it's really it tastes good, and And humanity has decided that we eat cows. Basically, we evolved cows. We artificially selected cows. We did artificial evolution on cows just in order to eat them. That's my understanding, basically. Cows and other animals, we evolved them in order to eat them, whereas we evolved dogs and cats in order to cuddle with them. So that's it. If you want to call that ethics, that is the ethics of current humanity. And it has nothing to do the whole issue that he brought up. I don't even understand why he brought it up. The ability to reproduce with us. It's like, oh, is it human? That's why he brings it up. But even if you have a crazy human that's running around killing people, then and the only way you can stop it is killing it, then you would kill it. Now, we usually don't eat humans that we execute. So if you do that, that would be frowned upon, even if the human might be a mass murderer. No one is going to accept you in polite society in general, with exceptions, but in general, you will be rejected from polite society if you would eat an executed criminal, a severe criminal, a terrible criminal. No one would accept it that you would eat them. That's just, there's no reason for this. That's just the way it is. These are the rules in humanity. In humanity, you have to cut your hair, you have to brush your teeth, you can't poop in the middle of the street, you can't pee on people unless, it's a fetish or something. And you have to live in a house. If you're homeless, you're going to be frowned upon. So, and you have to go to work, and you have to be awake during the day and sleep at night. And you have to eat normal food. If you start walking down the street, if you walk down the street and take the poop from puppies that they poop and eat it, people are going to think, people are not going to like that. So you can't be crazy. You gotta do what humanity expects you to do. And there's no rationale behind it. It's just what humanity decided and the way humanity evolved. No one woke up one morning and decided from now on, anyone who eats poop off the sidewalk is a terrible person. No one, or is to be excommunicated, or is to be banned, or is to be, ignored or frowned upon. No one ever decreed that. Rather, that's the way humanity evolved. Puppies might do that. A puppy might walk down the street, see poop, and eat it. And I don't know if they find it delicious. They probably do. I mean, otherwise, why would they do it? So, but if we do it, well, it's not accepted. So is that ethics? I don't know, but part of it. I mean, the way we behave is just it's part of evolution. It's just part of evolution. Let's continue.
Problem.
And vegan gains, like he and all the and ask yourself, all these people, these I don't know what to call them, but for them it's like no, ethics is this mathematical concept, and it's like it's concrete and it's so clear and it's so simple. But for most humans, like for me, that I've given it so much thought, no, it's like everything else. It evolved, and no single person decided anything, but rather every single person decided just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. No one person really moved the needle in what is ethical and what is not. Let's continue.
It doesn't.
The logical problem
Something
is
can
if you
be
take a situation
improbable.
that
Something
does
can
not
be
exist.
improbable without it being illogical.
It's not improbable. It's just incorrect. It's incorrect, factually incorrect.
Now they're wasting time. This is now a waste of time because, I mean, yeah, I mean, they're trapped. Vegan Gains at this point can just walk away from this discussion and say, okay, we cannot have a discussion if you are unwilling to answer a simple question. Here's the question again. Repeat the question. And when you're ready to answer, it's fine that right now you don't have an answer. When you're ready to answer, we can continue this discussion. And for now, have a great rest of your day. That's probably, after once, twice, three times, that's what I would do. I mean, there's no point right now in debating whether a hypothetical should be allowed as part of a debate. Everyone agrees hypotheticals are a very important tool in a debate, obviously.
Say that Jewish or Black people aren't people and they're not human beings because they are the same species.
Well,
so I don't really see.
Right, but this is the problem. So Vegan Gains pressured Leo by introducing these two words that I will not repeat because of how dangerous it is to mention these words. So instead I say purple people because I just don't want to deal with what could go wrong if I say these words. I'm not going to say these words. So but Vegan Gains, I think, whether Vegan Gains is aware of it or not, he chose these two groups in order to confuse his opponent, in order to confuse and pressure Leo that if they cannot reproduce with the rest of us, then they're not part of the species, and wonderful. And what could go wrong now? Whereas it's completely irrelevant to this discussion. I mean, if he claims that the trait is that they are human, okay, I mean, then I would have to think about. I mean, as I explained, I don't think that's it. I don't think it's because people are human or individuals are human that we treat them nice, because sometimes we don't treat humans nice because they're criminals, and sometimes we might treat an animal super nice if it becomes super aware and becomes super valuable for humanity. So we could have like a hypothetical cow that explains to us, resolves quantum physics, quantum mechanics. So no one is going to kill that cow. That cow is going to be worshipped scientifically as a source of knowledge. So it has nothing to do with being. I don't think it has anything to do with being human, or it has a little bit. I mean, yeah, I mean, in general we treat humans much nicer than we treat anyone else, but there are exceptions. Sometimes we don't treat humans as nice as we might treat animals. Like even most people would treat their own pets much nicer than they would treat a homeless guy. So it cannot be that the humanity is the determining factor. Let's continue.
Is it impossible? It doesn't even really matter if it's impossible, but
again and again that Jewish people can have children with Black
well, look,
people,
we come from a common ancestor with
people.
Well, listen, we come from a common ancestor with chimpanzees. I mean, in theory, if there was enough genetic differentiation between races, yeah, you could see race.
So this entire discussion about humanity, I think, is a waste of time. But Vegan Gains, like, he wants to show that there is no difference between humans and animals. I mean, ultimately, I mean, I don't know if there's difference between humans. I mean, no two humans are the same. basically. So there's always differences. Even two identical humans are not the same by the fact that they're two humans. One is occupying a different set of coordinates in space-time than the other. So they're not identical. They're not completely identical. They're composed of different subatomic particles or atomic particles. So they're different creatures. So they're different. So there's always a difference. As long as I can tell, I can point to the right and see one person, point to the left, see another. They could be completely identical in every respect, but I can differentiate between one and the other because one is to my right and one is to my left. So there's always you can always differentiate. But to say that no, all humans are this, we treat all humans as the same, but animals are basically the same, so we should treat animals the same. That's just you're just making a soup out of everything. We don't treat all humans the same. In general, we treat humans more or less the same, and in general, we treat all animals more or less the same, but there's always these exceptions. So it's not the humanity is a factor. It's one of the factors in how we treat others. If I mistreat a human down the street, then humanity, I mean, then I will be punished. Society will punish me. So I don't. But that's one reason. If I mistreat a cat walking down the street, humanity will punish me. But if I mistreat a cockroach walking down the street, humanity would probably reward me. Because humanity hates cockroaches with a vengeance. Or if I mistreat a snake, humanity would reward me. So, and these are animals. So, I mean, or if I mistreat a murderer walking down the street, humanity would reward me. If I kill a murderer walking down the street, hold on, we have a guest. We have oh, how can I know it's you? How can I know it's you? Can you, Karen, can you say something in the private chat? Can you cam? I wish I could just hear you. It doesn't make any sense that I can't hear you. Yeah, this is Karen, but prove to me that you are Karen. How can you prove to me that you are Karen? Let me think about it. I am your driver. You're my driver. You are. Why don't we do this? Tell me the first time we met. Under what circumstances did we meet? You'd have to remind me because I don't remember. What was our first interaction? When did you come into my life? All right. No, wrong answer. No, for real. You gotta be real. You can't lie. Because remember, I do have enemies, and I don't. Oh, you're gone. Oh, so that was and what do you call it? Someone who pretends. So that there was somebody else. Wow, that could have been really dangerous. Holy moly, I was not aware of this issue. Anyway, we almost had, I guess, a peen. Wait. Oh, you're okay.
You fucking idiot.
I didn't know. How am I supposed to know?
Nobody, I mean, no offense, but you don't have that many enemies and they don't care enough to come and harass you.
I wish that were true, I guess.
You really think Alex Playing with Fire with 130,000 subscribers is going to come harass you on your stream with almost no viewers?
No, but I know Greg would.
Oh God, yeah, he is mentally retarded. I agree with you. You know what? You've won that argument. Fuck, you've already won.
Yeah, Greg is terrible.
I thought you would
Anyway.
like that Olive Garden thing. I was like, Olive Garden, first date. Oh,
No, I never had a date with you.
I know. I just thought you'd get a crack out of it. It's like we went somewhere fancy like Olive Garden.
Fancy? Olive Garden is fancy?
Yeah.
Wow.
So listen, I've been
Yeah.
listening to this whole vegan stuff, and we still haven't. And you can feel free if you want to finish out this video reacting. But
Mhm.
I thought, why don't
Mhm.
you debate an actual vegan?
Like you?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my premise is that being a vegan produces an overall naturally healthier lifestyle, a longer lifestyle, and a lifestyle that has far less health consequences.
Mm-hmm.
That's my premise.
Then we don't have a disagreement. I mean,
All right, have a great night. Fuck, that was...
But that's not veganism. Veganism is an ethical framework. It's not a practical framework. It's nothing to do with practicality.
But there are people who are vegans for different reasons. Some people do it for ethical reasons, like you just said, humane reasons, and then other people do it for health reasons. And honestly, I initially became vegan when I was 14 years old for humane, like ethical reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then I
Okay.
decided after college that it was actually for health reasons. Like, so for me, it's like a mixed bag.
Mm. So if it's for health, then we don't have a disagreement. I personally, I tried unintentionally to become vegan unintentionally,
Mm,
and the more I became vegan, the more I was having stomach issues.
mm,
This was unintentional. This was during a period I was cutting weight for an MMA fight.
okay.
So I was eating a lot of salad and I was cutting on meat.
Okay.
And then one day I was having a conversation with a friend and I mentioned to them that I am having terrible tummy issues. My tummy's boiling. And they said, "Wait, are you going vegan?" And then I said, yeah, I mean, kind of unintentionally." And they said, "Yeah, everyone I know basically had this issue when they went vegan, their tummy started boiling."
Could it be
So
possible that what you're describing is a detox? Because a lot of people that eat meat have a lot of, let's just say, I don't want to be gross, but a lot of people who eat meat don't realize that meat doesn't get processed very quickly in your body, and some of it gets stored in your stomach for a very long time. Some of it just lingers in your intestines for a long time, unless you have like a colonoscopy and you take like that stuff that you're supposed to take that like literally makes you empty everything. A lot of people who eat like salads for a long period of time, they experience stomach issues because their body starts to detox. And I think that's kind of what you're describing.
I don't know. I don't know. I personally don't believe in the whole notion of detox.
Okay.
I just know that I couldn't function, and then I stopped this eating salad.
Uh-huh.
And the less salad I eat, the more my diet is meat based, and to the point that I eat zero besides meat, my tummy is perfect. The more I eat pure meat, the more my tummy is stable. Any
Did you hear that?
what
I think
happened?
Greta Thunberg just had a stroke
Why? How is she related to this conversation?
because all you want to do is eat meat. You want to eat the CO and the O and the twos. How dare
Yeah.
you? How dare you?
How dare me? Anyway,
So
mm-hmm.
it was an attempt at a joke. Sometimes you don't get
I
my jokes,
see.
but that's okay.
No,
Um,
I got it. It was a terrific joke. Terrific.
so I don't understand how. So like, okay, vegetables. Let's just put fruits aside because you could argue that fruits can be digested in like 2 hours or less by the body, like in full. Like if you eat an orange, your body can fully process it and have it out of your body, like out of your system in less than 2 hours, 3 hours tops.
Why would I want that? What's the benefit?
Well, just listen to me here.
Okay.
When it comes to vegetables, that takes around 9 hours, and when it comes to meat, that takes around anywhere from 24 to 36 hours. So
Okay.
what you're describing to me is like a feeling of being satiated as opposed to boiling. And satiated is a feeling of fullness.
No,
Whereas when you eat salads, you don't feel full because it's not as
no,
heavy.
no. I eat pure meat. I have zero gas, and I don't need to use toilet paper. Let's be extreme. And when I eat fruit and add more salad and more fruit, the more I add, the more I have gas, and the more I need to run to the toilet with diarrhea, explosive diarrhea.
Sounds to me like you
I'm,
need more fiber in your diet.
no, I need less fiber. The fiber is the issue. That's exactly the point. I'm sensitive to fiber. A little bit of fiber wreaks havoc on my system. That's exactly the problem.
But
The fiber is the
fiber is
problem.
a bonding agent which hardens your stool.
No. Fiber is a bonding agent that prevents that the digestion system has a very hard time breaking down, so it remains in large chunks through the digestive system so that it it actually hurries up the digestive process.
Mm,
It's like strands. You have strands in your tummy, and these strands actually break down all the all the fecal matter in your tummy, so
mhm,
it becomes diuretic. It
mhm.
it has a diuretic effect. That's the way I feel it. I'm just speaking from experience. The fruit has fiber. The fruit is very fibrous. The more fibrous,
Like
the
apple. An
more
apple, for example, has a lot of
an,
fiber.
an apple is not so fibrous. It is hard. What do you call it? There's a word for it when a fruit is hard. I forgot there is a special word for it, but that's not so much fiber. Fiber is like I think celery. Celery, you can see the fiber.
Mm,
Look, the question is when you poop, you if you see stuff, that's the fiber. Like lettuce. Lettuce, you can actually see the lettuce pieces in the toilet.
mhm.
So that's fiber. So the tummy cannot break it down. And that's how you get the diarrhea. I mean, if you have constipation, then yeah, you need to eat fiber like fruit. Like I think apricot. The apricot is very fibrous, or lettuce. Lettuce is very fibrous. I mean, there's a bunch of these super fibrous fruits you can eat, and you get explosive diarrhea. For
Mm.
me, any fruit and vegetable, just the more fruit and vegetable I eat, the more diabetic I become. Look, but that's not the point. If you this has nothing to do with veganism. I mean,
Yeah, but
if I
you're
could
pointing
map,
this out. You're the one talking about your stool, Mr. Slave.
Right.
I can tell you the opposite. I pretty much eat salads every day, and I haven't ate meat to my knowledge since I was 14 years old, aside from sucking on a penis, but that doesn't count. Um,
As long as you don't swallow the penis.
oh, no, 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 no. I don't want to choke. So, like the point I'm making here is for me, it's the opposite. So I wonder what that
Mhm.
is. Like, maybe has my body adjusted and I don't have explosive diarrhea? Like, I have normal stool.
Hmm. Look, I, but that's it. Doesn't matter. That's not what veganism has anything to do with. I don't mind. I'm not addicted to meat. I mean, eating meat. I mean,
Hmm.
eating cow.
Hmm.
I don't need to eat a cow. I do somewhat enjoy eating a cow. I mean, eating a cheeseburger or eating a steak. Yeah, it's fine, but I enjoy a salad, a good salad just as much,
Hmm.
or I enjoy a protein shake just as much. Like I don't really have a preference. Not like I'm a I like vegans. They think of us meat eaters or carnivores or omnivores as if we enjoy it so much, and because we enjoy it so much, we shift around our perception of reality in order to convince ourselves that it's ethical. No, not at all. Hey, Woody Johnson, what's up? No, not at all. I don't like meat that much. It's nice. Meat is nice. If you some like there was a period that I was eating like steaks every day. At one point, you're like, yeah, I cannot eat another steak. Not fun, but I can't eat a salad. I wish I could eat a salad because I know what would happen if I eat a salad. I mean, I'm gonna become completely dysfunctional. I wouldn't be able to be in polite society. So, and then when I go to MMA, I mean, it's destructive, destructive, and disruptive.
Explosive diarrhea, destructive. Like, these are some really aggressive terms. Just like, I think you need to go see a doctor.
Anyway,
I
look,
think this has
I
been a
don't.
very revealing debate, more than anything. Like,
Yeah. Look, but the point is, it's so the vegans they think that omnivores just enjoy eating meat so much that they shift around. We shift around our philosophy in order to fit our craving. Where the reality is, for me, is far from it. I could care less what I eat. Why would I care? I don't care what I eat. I just want to be healthy. I want to live a good, healthy life. As far as I know, by eating meat, I live a good, healthy life. I'm functional in polite society. So everything is good. Everyone is happy. Now, we could discuss the animals. Are the animals happy?
yeah, I was
That,
going to
and that,
transition that really quickly and finish up my
hmm
point on the health thing, and then we can talk about the ethical part. It sounds to
okay.
me like you and I are both in agreement that, well, agreement is not really a word, but I just made it up. Um, that the health side of it, like for example, all of this, you know, all these artificial hormones that are being injected in order to like speed up growth cycles into the animals and things like that. That
Yeah,
translates, like
yeah,
that translates. And I think that has
I
something
don't,
to do with cancer rates. I think that like some of the health issues that humans are having have a lot to do with the way that we are speeding up our food. Um,
I buy like good quality meat. I hope that
mhm.
it doesn't get injected with anything.
Yeah, yeah.
I would hope so. I don't want to, yeah, I don't know. I
But yeah,
mean,
so that's part of the reason why I don't eat meat is because I don't like the way that it's produced. It's, they use all these artificial hormones and all these injections and the other part of
yeah,
it is the ethical treatment. So the slaughterhouses. I hate seeing these videos of all the chickens being put upside down and their necks are being slaughtered and they're bleeding out as they go along the conveyor belt and I've seen videos of cows being literally thrown into a giant meat grinder, like alive. Like, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I think I'm gonna have to cut the stream short, unfortunately. I might have to. We'll see. What do I think about it? Maybe you can repeat the last statement. I heard you saying you've seen cows being thrown into a meat grinder, but were they thrown alive into a meat grinder?
Yeah, like whole, like alive. They like push them into a metal.
Alive?
Yes, push them
Alive?
right into a metal component that just grinds them up alive, and it's so gross.
Alive? That's
Yes,
weird. Don't they usually kill them before?
yes. Most places do. They have a thing that they put over their forehead, and it like immediately attacks their brain and just kills them. But some places are very cruel, and they have a very cruel way of killing animals. And I don't know. That was my argument that I wanted to make. And then apparently, I don't know, someone's texting you, or you gotta leave now, or what?
No, no, I'll stay. No, no, I have some background noise, but if you can't, t tell me if you can hear the background noise. If
I
not,
can't.
then
No.
okay, we'll continue. If you can at any point, then let me know.
Okay.
So my point is that, look, when I eat meat, my preference is for that meat, for that cow to have lived a good, happy life and a quick, painless death. Just as much as I would have wished. If I were a cow, I would have wished to have lived the same life and experienced the same death. So that's my hope, and that's what I try. That's what I aim for when I buy my meat. Now, and chickens and eggs and everything. So and milk. So as far as I know, there's farms that are very humane and let their animals have a terrific life and then a quick painless death. I think, yeah, I mean, that's my preference. I don't enjoy knowing that my meat was, someone was being cruel to my meat during its life. Uh,
Hmm.
I don't receive any pleasure from that. Um,
I respect
So,
that a lot.
but I think all humans are like that, except for a minority of psychopaths. I think most humans would prefer are like me. That's my opinion. So,
I think that most humans don't think about it to the extent that you just did. They go to a restaurant, they see the pictures, they don't think about how the food is made, and they could give two fucks less as long as they can put some sauce on it.
but but if you tell a guy, listen, here's two pieces of meat. One is from a cow that lived outside, grass-fed, was in the sunshine, was very, was roaming around, and then at the end had a quick,
A
painless death.
motorcycle accident.
And here is another piece of meat from a cow that lived a terrible life, was miserable, was always indoors and urinated and pooped on itself and lived a smelly, disgusting life and then
Died
died
in fear.
or whatever, which one do you prefer? I think everyone, without exception, would prefer the meat that had the better life. Just
Sure.
just because it's better quality meat.
Okay.
So
But there
so
are no menus, Mr. Slave. Like when you go to a restaurant, there are no menus that I'm aware of where you can select one side or the other. It's just like when you go to the grocery store, you can pay extra, of course, for grass-fed, humanely treated, like farms like you're describing. But I would say 95% of people who consume meat, they don't care where it comes from. They don't pay attention to that.
um yeah, but if so, I would say that if the vegans were truthful,
Hmm.
that would be their agenda. They would say, fine, we don't eat meat, but let's have a scale and let's
Hmm.
reward farms by how nice they are to their animals. But as far as I know, there is no such scale. And vegans don't promote this scale. Vegans want to just ban, ban. Even though, I mean, some vegans feed their animals dog food that's made out of meat. So anyway, I mean, I'm very confused, I would say, about
Mm.
vegans. If I were them, I mean, if I were
I
them,
mean,
I
you're
mean,
talking to me right now. Ask me.
no. If the point is that I feel that basically everyone is I just don't know the definition of a vegan. At this point, I've been debating vegans for a year or two or something, and I'm still trying to from day one. My first debate was veganism is utter nonsense. I just don't know what it is. I honestly don't know what it is, and I still don't know what it is. I'm still completely perplexed by what is veganism. I Every time I debate a vegan and I ask for a definition, it's a completely new definition. It's never off the shelf. It's never let's go to the dictionary. It's never let's go to the vegan society. I mean, it used to be, but even the vegan society, whatever, they keep changing the definition. Every time it's a different definition. So I don't know what to say. I mean, every time you have to, rethink from scratch. How am I going to debate these people? It's not. It basically is never twice the same.
Mm.
It's never a repeat. So it's like their position is not clear, which is my position. My entire position ultimately is that their position is unclear. That's my entire position. I'm still trying to figure out what their position is. I'm still there. I'm still there where I
Gotcha.
was on the first day.
Okay. I think that's a very valid point. There are some extreme vegans. My position is I avoid meat and meat byproducts as well as dairy and dairy byproducts.
That's not vegan. That's not even close to vegan because what about roadkill? So according to you, you avoid roadkill. But according to
Yes.
veganism, you should not avoid roadkill. Why would you avoid roadkill?
Roadkill, by its definition, is an animal which I avoid because I have no intention of consuming roadkill.
Wait, you drive down the street and there is a cow and you hit it and kill it. Let's say you're a vet. You looked at a cow, you saw that it's completely healthy, no issues, and then while driving away from the farm, you hit that cow and killed it. So you know
That
it's a
sounds like murder. That sounds like intent. Like, okay, yeah,
Anyway, okay, but let's say you know it's a perfectly healthy cow, and you know you had no intention to kill it, but
sure.
now it's dead, and it's a carcass. They're gonna throw it to the garbage, so you can take it and eat it, and use its skin, its skin for leather, and you can use every bit of it, and it's terrific. There's so much meat. And this is vegan meat. This is ethical meat. So according to veganism, even the most extreme vegans, this is completely ethical. And there's you can have an entire industry of roadkill from which to make fur coats. There is an industry. I don't know how big it is. I remember watching a video once of a chick. That's what she does. She has a phone number and everyone calls her. She comes, she picks up the roadkill and makes fur coats out of the roadkill. Vegan fur coats. And she makes a lot of money. And it's completely ethical. So, anyway, and according to Vegan Gains, if an animal is carnivorous, he wants to dispose of all carnivores. So, what are you going to do with all the bodies of all the carnivores that you're going to kill? Obviously, it's ethical after you kill them, it's ethical to eat them. Now, a chicken is a carnivore. A chicken eats bugs. So, according to Vegan Gains, he's going to kill all the chickens. What are you going to do with all their bodies? You can eat them. So that's meat or whatever, chicken. So even Vegan Gains eats scallops. He says that scallops are they don't have enough of a brain to be defined as whatever sentient. So he eats scallops or some sea shells or I don't remember, like some sea animals that are with a minimal brain that, according to him, he decided that they don't have consciousness, and that's why he thinks it's ethical to eat them. So even he eats meat. That's meat. So
So,
and
in my
he's the most,
opinion, I think that
yeah.
you've been moving the goalposts because the very first thing that you said, as soon as I gave you my position as a vegan, is you were like, "Oh, that's not true. You can just hit it with your car, and that'll make it fast food, and it'll be okay."
Wait, what?
I just told you that I don't want to eat meat, and then your transition to that was to basically force me to eat meat by proposing an
No,
example in which I hit a cow and then that becomes okay for me to eat it now that it's dead. Like,
you don't
that's
have
not,
to.
I
You
have
don't have
no
to eat it.
intention. If I hit a cow, Mr. Slave, or let's just say more realistic, or not a reindeer, a deer. Let's say I hit a deer. Okay. I have no
Hmm.
intentions at any time of consuming that animal, regardless of its stage of life or
Wait,
decomposition.
would you use its skin for a leather coat?
No,
Why not? For a carpet?
no.
Why not?
I would feel really sad about hitting the deer. I would cry a lot. I would. In this way, I'm very like bitch made. I'm very hippie. Like,
But
I,
why? You can cry and still wear its skin.
oh my god, you're so mean, Mr. Slay. Could you imagine me like crying while putting it on, like putting on a jacket? That sounds so like psychotic. Like, oh, I killed this deer and it feels so good. So anyway,
I just lost. I
no.
just lost your signal for a second. Yeah, just for a second.
Oh no, like so I'm just imagining like if I hit a deer or any kind of animal, I have no intentions on using the animal at all. Um, in my mind, I'm thinking that other things like so it would obviously start decomposing. Other things would happen. You know, ants would start eating it, bugs would start eating it, and the natural cycle of life would occur. But that would not involve me, other than the fact that I hit it with my car.
But you do realize when you eat vegetables, so during the process of making the vegetables, animals were sacrificed, right? The animals that live on the farm, the farmer had to kill them, even
Pesticides,
unintentional. Excuse me?
like using pesticides and stuff.
E- Even that, yeah, sure. The pesticide to kill the bugs. Yeah, so you killed the bugs and even larger animals, even deer. I mean, he had to scare them away. As far as I know, a lot of animals are being killed. I mean, when he they have all this machinery that digs into the ground, so all the animals are in the ground are being grounded while the machine goes through it. Or even like when you drive, you might kill an animal.
Sure, like when you walk on a sidewalk, you could step on something, that's
Right.
crawling around.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
how do you live? Because knowing that you're always taking lives, how do you live with yourself?
oh my God, you're so mean to me. Um,
No, I'm just
how do you
trying
how do you live with yourself, Karen? You fucking bitch.
to. No, because my point is that that's just life. I mean, part of life is killing other life. There's no way around it. Right
Hmm.
now, your body is killing tiny creatures in living inside you. Even your own cells. Right now, there is cancerous cells are developing and your immune system is noticing them and killing them. So there's murder, and sometimes it's multicellular because sometimes it's in the womb. I don't know if you know it. Like if you have womb cancer,
Mhm.
uteral cancer, if you ever seen what they take out, it's 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 like an eye. An eye, like an egg, starts self-evolving into a human organ. So, have you ever seen this? You've never seen
No,
this?
I did watch. There's a video with like 100 million views or whatever, and it's called. It was something like the stage of life for a cell, and it was like a microscope focused in on it, and it showed right before the cell divided and then died. And it's like a 45 to 1 minute video, and it 45 seconds to 1 minute, and it basically shows a cell dying and how it struggles and how it tries to stay
Yeah,
alive, and it's
yeah,
really emotional. And
I know, I
and
know,
and I checked the comments section, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I was rooting for that cell. Like, oh, that cell will
yeah,
always be remembered."
I know.
And that's happening thousands of times a second.
Yeah, yeah, and you're responsible.
Oh my
There's,
god.
and if you kill yourself, you're just going to be killing many, 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 many more of those. So there's no way of getting around it. You just have to accept that this is reality.
I hate you.
Oh, it's
Here's
just
here's what I like about you, Mr. Slave. Whenever I talk with you and we really have like a serious conversation, you do open up like a different way of thinking, and that's why I like being around you. You have a different way of thinking that's not like the typical American way of thinking, and
you.
it really helps me like expand my horizons. So,
Well, I'll take it as a compliment.
oh, it is a compliment for sure.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so the whole you see so vegans they say, "Oh, we're trying to avoid animal suffering or we're trying to avoid suffering." Well, the only way to avoid suffering is to literally destroy the universe. Because even if you destroy all life and thereby destroy all suffering, well, evolution will recreate life. So you have to destroy the universe in order to guarantee no more suffering. So this is why vegans are always led down this very, very dark path that they end up becoming anti-universe. They
Mm.
just want to destroy the universe. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Hitler was a vegan. I
So,
think,
have you seen Avengers Endgame?
of course,
Should
one of the
should I
best.
change my name from Karen to Thranos?
Yeah, I don't. You could, you
Because like
could.
he had that same like idea that basically life was being overpopulated and that the universe needed to be reduced in order to balance everything out. And that kind of
Yeah,
reminds me of what you're describing, like vegans, is like they have this really radical view of life.
much more radical than Thanos. I mean, Thanos just said, "Let's kill half the population of the universe," which makes no sense because in 1 year you're just gonna have a high birth rate, and you're gonna get the same population back in either 1 year or a couple of years.
They could have
So
totally saved 4 hours. They could have just had you like after the first 5 minutes, they could have brought you on to that movie and just had you explain that this makes no sense, and then like rolled the credits.
I Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, vegans are by far worse than Thanos. They are by far worse than any uh, evil villain of any movie ever, because they want to literally destroy the universe itself and any multiverse and any potential of ever having another multiverse, because all these have the potential of creating life,
Okay, well
which
wait.
has the
Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. I need you to help
Mhm.
me Okay, can you help me get to that point that you're making? Because when you
Mhm.
ask most vegans, they're just going to say, hey, look, we need to be kind to animals. We need to not harm them, not kill them, not torture them. How does that translate to this huge thing of we now want to destroy the entire universe? That's a huge leap that I'm having trouble connecting.
So a vegan says, I want to reduce suffering in the universe.
Okay.
I want to minimize suffering. Well, the most minimum suffering is zero suffering. And in order to have, so as long as you have life, you have the potential of suffering. Even you might have a bad day.
Mhm.
So a vegan would prefer for you not to exist in order for you to avoid that bad day. Because if you don't exist, if you stop existing today, then you don't have the potential of having a bad day tomorrow and suffering tomorrow. A vegan wants zero suffering. So it's better to have zero life because zero life is zero suffering.
Mhm.
But zero life is not enough because if you kill all life, well, the universe will naturally spawn life as it did the first time. So you need to destroy the very universe in order to not have the potential of ever having life again, in order to not have the potential of ever having any suffering again. And it's not just enough to destroy this universe, you have to destroy every possible universe ever, all the multiverses. So they are the ultimate villains. That's why
So
I'm
your
anti-vegan.
argument is that most vegans don't even understand their own premise, and that
Yeah,
at the end of the day, uh, even if they don't realize it because they think they're being nice people, their end game, no pun intended, is an absolute sum destruction game.
exactly. Now, sometimes when you debate them, they say it explicitly. Yeah, it would be much preferable for the universe to not exist, of course. I've had a vegan say it. Yes.
Who who
I
would
asked him
say
if
that?
you could, a vegan. I asked him if you could destroy the universe completely, would you do it? He said, he said to destroy it is a problem because then you're killing, but it would be preferable for the universe to have not existed at all. So his preference was to have no universe ever.
That person is insane, and I do not want to
No,
associate with them.
no, this is the conclusion. This is the logical result. This is where this is where the logic leads you to. The logic of veganism. That's
Hmm.
exactly where it goes. It doesn't go anywhere else. You want to reduce suffering? Well, you want to destroy the universe. That's the only that is the logical conclusion. Now, if you don't want to destroy the universe, then you have to accept that there will be suffering. Then you might as well eat meat.
Could it be argued that there is a understandable middle ground that should be achieved where we
Yes,
want to minimize suffering while at the same
yes.
time not trying to destroy the universe?
Yes, so you want to minimize suffering and maximize happiness. That's a different ball game. That's called an optim. You want to optimize instead of minimize suffering. You want to do both simultaneously. That's called optimizing life. That's
And
what I
I
do.
could still be a vegan under those terms.
Why would you want to? As you see, that's why I eat meat. When I eat meat, I'm paying for a farmer to bring a cow into existence and have
Mhm.
this cow live a beautiful, happy life. And then at the end, well, the cow is going to die one way or the other. There's no way of avoiding that, even of old age.
Mhm.
Well, might as well kill it painlessly, quickly, just how I would want to go if I were the cow. So I'm paying for this process.
Mhm.
And if we reward more farms that are more like this, we would get farms that are more like this. That's what I propose.
Mm. I mean, I think
So
that's
just
it's definitely a step forward for sure. For me personally, even if I throw the ethical and the health stuff out the window, let's just say that all that gets fixed. Like right now, it's all fixed. I still just don't like the idea of eating animals. Like the idea that I'm eating a deer or a cow or a chicken, it just doesn't sit well with me. I don't like the taste.
but
I just don't like meat.
but when you eat a vegetable, that vegetable took nutrients from the ground of dead animals.
Sure.
So you are eating dead animals. Congratulations.
Um, you know, whenever whenever a plant grows, it does draw nutrients because they use fertilizer. And what's fertilizer made from?
I think dead animals.
Right. Well, most of it is like 80% of fertilizer comes from that.
But I'm not even
So it
go to
grows.
nature. In nature, the natural fertilizer is just dead animals.
Sure.
It has to be recycled.
Sure. I understand that for sure. But if it's feeding off from that in order to grow, can you say for 100% that that is a dead animal? That plant is a dead animal because it's feeding off from dead animal?
Let me ask you. Let's say you discover that you ate a vegetable. Here's a vegetable. Here's a tomato that I grew on the carcass of a dead animal. Would you eat it?
Knowing it in the way that you just proposed it, and I would say, no, that doesn't sound right to me.
But how is that different than knowing that you're eating vegetables that, in nature, that is what it is. It's not a direct carcass, but, it's ground up by nature, by the forces of nature. It was ground up, but it's just a recycled dead animal.
Mhm.
I mean, the vegetable is just a recycled dead animal.
Why do I feel like you kept this as like ammo toward the end of our conversation to just like obliterate me with? I feel like you like kept this in your pocket and you're like,
No,
okay, now's the
but
time. I'm gonna let this bitch know that she's been eating animals the entire time.
But I mean, there's so many ways. It's not just that. I mean, I don't know what's gonna change your mind. I'm throwing everything at you. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's amazing. Like it is eye opening, and when we're done, I'm going to have to process this, especially the stuff about the universe and like the ultimate, like where it leads. Most vegans don't even realize what their thought process, like where it leads.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to have to really think about
That's
that.
yeah. This is why my war against veganism is my most important war. I spend much more on anti-veganism activism than anything else
Well, no,
when I'm
you had a
on.
war against carbon and carbon dioxide, and there's a war against choice and people. We've had conversations about things that you've said are the most important things.
I guess, but I think, yeah, veganism is one of those very, very destructive forces.
Hmm.
I mean, between veganism and environmentalism and all those, humanity doesn't stand a chance in the long run, and this is one of the solutions to Fermi's paradox. No civilization in the long run withstands all these forces,
Yeah, the
all
vegans kill us
these.
all.
It's veganism, it's environmentalism,
Feminism.
yeah, feminism. I don't think no, I don't think feminism is I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess, I mean, feminism in its as part of the communist agenda, communism, socialism are very destructive for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know,
Yeah.
staying on point, though, that's a lot to consider. I think the average person just says, hey, you know, I just want to save the animals. And we, like, obviously, like, if you present, you know how you described your menu, where like one side is, hey, this animal had a beautiful life, and the other side, this animal lived miserably, right?
Yeah.
If you could present to me a menu where like it was all plant based, and even the plant itself was fertilized from non animal sources, like it was plant based fertilizer, however, or you know, whatever, even if that, I don't even know if that exists. um, I would choose that. And so for me, the end goal is to try to create more of a vegetarian, vegan type lifestyle that really tries to stay away from animals as much as possible. And my question to you is that possible?
Yes, but then one of the problems is you're going to exterminate all the animals that exist today for food. So there's going to be no more cows. There's going to be no more chickens because cows and chickens don't exist in nature. So you're going to exterminate entire species. If you right now, if everyone goes vegan today, then all these cows are going to have to be killed.
Because they can't go out into the wild. They're like way too
Even if you send them to the wild, they're going to be killed by by the wilderness, by wild animals, by the weather. They're going to starve to death. You're not going to avoid the misery.
makes you so sad.
Yeah, or you can do what I propose. Just continue as we were and just accept the fact that you want to optimize and not minimize suffering. You want to optimize life, minimize suffering while maximizing happiness and find this perfect average point or optimal point instead of aiming for zero suffering, which means destroy the universe.
So I presume, based on what you're saying, that like you don't eat fast food then, because most fast food restaurants, they buy from like Tyson Foods and the cheapest meat producers that they can, and they have the lowest standards. Like those animals are absolutely miserable. They're most of them never see the light of day. They're kept in cages. They're malformed. Their limbs are mutated, and then that goes straight to these fast food locations. So I would assume that you only shop for meat that meets your criteria, and you never eat Burger King or McDonald's or any of these fast food restaurants.
I mean, I'll tell you, it's even worse than that. Right now, I'm traveling, and the
Mhm.
country where I'm at, they only have the milk you buy, is from these super smelly farms
Mm.
that the cows live in their own poop and pee and poop on themselves. That's the milk that I'm drinking. So, and I drink a lot of milk. So, and there is no alternative. Unless maybe if I could buy organic, and then it's like super expensive.
Mhm.
Anyway, so in most of the world, y- I mean, you have to. I mean, the quality of the meat and the milk is just horrendous.
So
In
why
the
not live in that scenario, and so you can improve your situation? Or like in your case, when you return from traveling, why not stop? Don't drink that milk. Don't eat those animals that have been treated that way.
Yeah, I don't have much of a choice. I can't. I
Because
mean,
if you eat a salad, you get the farts. Like,
for sure. I mean, I
oh
would
my
not be
goodness.
able to be near people.
Oh,
And and keep them alive. And then there's going to be much suffering for them. So
It's a
yeah.
cop out.
What do you mean? No, look, I don't, it's not like I like meat. I think meat is healthy. I feel meat is healthy.
Mhm.
It's not like, yeah, if I felt the meat and the milk is so terrible, yeah, I would change my diet as long as I'm traveling. But for now, it's not that bad. I mean, it's okay. I'll survive. I mean, it goes through like veterinarian inspections and stuff. It's not like it's deadly, hopefully. I'm not completely in a third world country.
Sure.
Anyway, um, that's it. Well, as long as you need to think about something, that's an accomplishment. If you need to think about it, then maybe others will need to think about it too. And maybe I don't have hopes in the long run for humanity because I know we will not survive this in the long run because there are no aliens. So I know that no alien civilization ever survived this in the long run. So it's hopeless. So my war is hopeless. I cannot win this war. I can just enjoy the fighting, which I do.
And historically, if you look at what we describe aliens as, or what some of the firsthand accounts of aliens are, they kind of look like my avatar. They have big, a lot of them, like the majority of the species that are described, sort of look like my picture that I have right now.
Exactly.
They have big buggy eyes, weird looking skin, and they don't look like, and they're really skinny, and they don't look like they're eating animals.
Exactly.
So, is it possible that the vegans took over and that's what we're experiencing? These aliens that we're seeing, they're all vegans trying to kill us?
They're not trying to kill us. They've killed themselves through their false beliefs in veganism. They
Mm,
decided to kill themselves because a vegan ultimately has no solution except for to kill themselves. So
yeah.
all these alien civilizations always end up killing themselves.
I just thought about it, Mr. Slave. I've been a vegan for 16 years. So it's a really tall order to expect me to just like overnight not, all of a sudden like I'm going to go to Burger King and get a Whopper. Like it's not going to happen. But and I'm still not going to eat roadkill. That's not going to happen.
I don't eat roadkill. I'm just saying an ethical vegan, which is what a vegan is, should. I mean, they always say roadkill is ethical. That's all I'm saying. I don't think anyone eats roadkill.
Gotcha. Well, this has been an interesting talk. I appreciate your time.
Sure.
And I'll be thinking about this tonight.
Fantastic.
Well, I'll let you finish up your video.
No, I'm gonna just finish up and go away. I'm gonna cut the stream right after you leave.
Oh, I'm going to go cease to exist as a vegan should. So
That's nice. All right.
I've always wondered how you always say like toward the end of your stream, you're like, I'm going to go kill myself. I'm like, why does he talk like that? Like to most people who listen to you probably have like they're like, what is this person talking about? Like the average viewer. I'm telling you, the YouTube's not ready for you.
Yeah, it's a problem. No, it all started when I had a girlfriend, and that's how she used to talk every night before going to sleep. She used to say, "Oh my God, I want to die," and then she went to sleep every night, every night.
Oh my goodness. That sounds really
And
healthy, like for mental
yeah,
health and stuff.
yeah, she's healthy. We're still good friends. So yeah, that so I picked it up from her. I picked up a lot of stuff from her. This is one of those things.
Well, I don't like to use the aggressive form of that. So I'll just say I will go cease to exist.
That's nice.
All right. Have a good night.
Karen. You too. See
Bye.
you later. Bye bye. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna go off ourselves right now. It's been an hour and a half. Really good conversation with Karen. Really terrific woman to interact with. Very, very wise. So we're gonna stop right now. Next time, hopefully, I'll continue from 12 minutes and 42 seconds. So until next time, have a great rest of your life and bye bye.